Good morning and welcome back to My Life's Toil for this week's update. It is Sunday, I can't see because I haven't got my glasses on, the 12th of October 2025. And it's just a little rundown of how things have been going since I've been doing the maintenance on Mounjaro. I reached my target in the last few weeks. I've had a few weeks off Mounjaro, but I've gone back on just to do a little bit of maintenance, and it's only at a low dose, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the video. Bear in mind that I need a haircut. I'm going with a hat day today, and I'm having a bit of a scruffy week, so excuse the appearance. I'm sure you won't mind. So how's things gone since the last time we sort of caught up? We'll be doing some more progress pics of people that have sent them in today as well, and also talking about my supplier, because a few people have been getting in touch about where to buy from. And I use a company called Checkup, who I'm not affiliated with, but I'm happy to refer you on to them. It'll get you and me a bit of a discount actually for any future orders. Something we can look at, isn't it? So yeah, how has the week been really? I jabbed again yesterday, so I'm back on a weekly low dose jab, and it seems to be doing just enough, I think, to keep me going. It hasn't been really easy. Willpower has played a massive part, but I think without doing the small jabs, just 2.5 milligram jabs, which I've only done once a week since I had that couple of weeks break, I've needed that, to be honest with you. Temptation has been there, and my weight hasn't really shifted, so I did put a little bit of weight back on that we discussed, but it's maintained, and that was well within the buffer that I wanted to stay within. So quite happy with how things have gone. But as these winter months come in, this is where I probably will really struggle. And a few people have messaged back saying that they struggle. It's like this sad syndrome, isn't it? That I think there's a level of that in most of us. Some people love the winter months, the crisp autumn. I just love summer and spring, but we're all different, aren't we? What else are we going to be talking about today? Like I say, the progress pictures as well. A little bit of information that I've had from some people that watch the channel as well, get in touch about where they get their pens from, not necessarily through the usual channels. And it's just something of interest, really. It's not me pushing this, but there was some interesting information that came through this week. Also wanted to talk about someone that's gifted me something this week, which was really nice. And it was from Ian, who we featured on the pictures last week. And thanks, Ian. This arrived really well. And it's one of these fat analyzers. And I'm going to show you that. It works out your BMI, and it tells you what calories you need to maintain and where you are on body shape and things like that. And it was quite interesting. So I'll have a little look at that. Also, I haven't run a competition for a little while, so we're going to do a competition today. It's going to be free. Members of the channel, people that like to support the channel moving forward, tends to support YouTube more than it does me, but hey ho, it's nice to have people that like to join. They will be included without having to say something, but we'll do a little bit of a competition this week. I've found something to give away, and something that we can, if you're interested, you don't have to take part in. It's nothing to do with weight. It's something totally different with Halloween coming up. So we'll talk about that shortly as well. So a little bit about, just to go into a bit more about how my week has been. Yesterday morning, I knew that I'd been feeling a little bit snacky for certainly the second half of the week, having had a 2.5 milligram dose last weekend. And the plan was always going to be to have a 2.5 milligram dose. So I did that literally upon waking yesterday before I started my day. So about 8:30 yesterday morning, I had another jab into the tummy, and I felt really hungry, which on the mornings I just don't normally. So I ended up doing a bit of a breakfast. So everyone else had a bit of a sometimes we have a cooked breakfast, but I don't tend to have it. But I had a bacon cob, which was lovely, to be honest with you. And that would have been about 9, half 9. And I thought, well, I'll just pace myself throughout the day. I have been counting the calories this week. So it was one of these Warburton's rolls, some back bacon. I cut the fat off it. I can't remember exactly. I'm not going to go bore you with the calories, but I planned it. And by mid to late morning, I really felt starving. And I found myself looking in the fridge again, which I haven't really done that for a long time. And I ended up having a couple of crumpets as well with some butter. The jab certainly hadn't kicked in at that time. But I thought, well, it's a Saturday, and sort of have a day off. And sort of thing that we tell ourselves, when we break a diet, and it's that sort of dangerous sort of realm that we can get into, isn't it, at times? And it sort of concerned me afterwards. You have that sort of after eating sort of guilt, which sounds ridiculous, I know, but I did have that. And then I was going about doing stuff that I'd got to catch up with and doing, and emails and a few chores around the house. But luckily, and then I visited my parents on the afternoon, and when I got there, I took Dan with me. I really felt the jab kicking in, and they had some lunch, and I was just like, no, actually, Mum, I'm all right, thank you. I had a cup of tea, and I didn't even have a biscuit or anything. I haven't had biscuits for months anyway. And without waffling on too much, the jab really kicked in. So by the time I was home yesterday evening, and I cooked dinner last night, and we'd planned what we was going to have. Some were having salmon, some were having chicken pieces and things like that, which I cooked. I just wasn't hungry, but knew I had to have something. So I literally just had some veg, a piece of chicken. My other son Ben, his girlfriend's around at the moment. They went out and they were going to have a snack night. So Rachel put an order in for some cakes that she likes, and Ben knew that like the old me would have been like, it would have been a bag of Rebels, a packet of chocolates or something. And I was just like, not interested. I said, no, I'm fine. So I was really quite pleased. I sort of rescued yesterday and kept my calories well within. Not exactly a great balance on the foods, but certainly kept my calories down. So I rescued yesterday a little bit. And this is the sort of thing that is the difference between what the old diets were and Mounjaro and just these GLP1s, if you will. Anyway, really, it sort of made me think a little bit. If this had all been a diet where, and it has been these diets in the past, and people I've spoken to out there are exactly the same. It's a case of that was the moment that it sort of came to me that the diet would have broke yesterday without the support of being able to go back on the jabs. And this is something that really made me think, and it's also something that I mentioned in not last week's but the week's before's video, where I knew that I needed the buffer of still having the pen in the fridge to see how I go without it, or reducing right down the doses. Now, this said, we need to have days off. We need to have days off. We need to have treats. And we need to, as we always say, and it took someone out there and a few people out there to tell me we still need to enjoy our foods. So I had a bit of a day off yesterday, but pulled it back in, and I felt good about myself for doing what I did. But it did make me realise, without the Mounjaro being there, that could have been the break in the diet where you're just like, well, that's it now, isn't it? But the other thing to remember, to remind ourselves all the time, is that when we do come away from it, that's not, don't make it a snowball effect or a butterfly effect that leads on to something else. Just say, well, we've had a day off. Yeah, that's done now. Let's pick back up on it. Now, very, very early on in my journey and on one of my videos, I was always saying, well, we've always got tomorrow, and we have. And that could have been me yesterday. I could have raided the fridge yesterday, really pigged out and just gone, and then started this morning. But I actually kept it going on the same day. And I think that's really good to try and bear in mind as well. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I've robbed a bank or something, but yeah, I had, like some foods that I shouldn't have had. Yeah, bacon cob. It's great to have something like that, and we should be having things like that. But then having another breakfast later on, and then the injection kicking in. So, and I don't want to blow this all out of proportions. Like some people will be watching and thinking, "Oh my God, man, get over yourself." But it's just knowing what those little breaks can do, isn't it? And we mentioned one of my things in the past was dairy milk. On Thursday night, Rachel brought me a dairy milk, a big bar of dairy milk, and I had some. I'd not eat. I'd basically fasted at work all day and had my sort of feed and not used all my calories actually. And that's something else that we've talked about is that I don't necessarily use all my calories daily anymore, and I can actually use them over the week. And I haven't looked at this week's worth of calories, but I think I'm within, even though I had a good few chunks of dairy milk. Now, I didn't eat the whole thing and I shared it amongst the family, something I might not have done in the past. I could have easily eaten a bar of dairy milk like that and it would have taken me like minutes. It's ridiculous. But there was a level of control there. And it was pleasing to see that that didn't break the diet as well. So, anyway, enough about that. What I'm trying to say is that I've still got my cushion of being able to go back on the jabs at the moment. My plan will be after I finish the Mounjaro, I have the plan in place with checkup who I'm with to go on to the Wegovy to see how that works. Now, a little update on Russ. People that watched, I'm on Mounjaro, or have been on Mounjaro, and Russ, my brother who lives in Australia, was on Wegovy, and there was an interview that we did further back. Go and look at that. If I can find the link, I'll pop it up on the screen for you. Just a little bit of an update, and I will get Russ back on here so you can hear it from him himself. He's on Mounjaro now. He's just started, and we had a little catch up yesterday while I was at my mum's on FaceTime. And it's not going as well on Mounjaro for him. He's literally just started, but it just goes to show how different it can be for different people. When I first started Mounjaro, I felt the effects literally within hours. The same day, the food noise was turned off, and that was the start of my journey, and it went really well. It's not quite the same for Russ. He took it the first one last week. I think he's just taken his second jab, 2.5 milligrams, and he's just not noticed any effect at all. He said that he still feels like snacking. He's really having to rely on the willpower. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. He said that it doesn't feel any different to the Wegovy. So we'll have to have a little chat with him about that. So I have been having quite a few messages of people asking where I get my medication from, my Mounjaro, and it will be the Wegovy. And I've already spoken to them about this, so I've got a plan in place for when I finish my Mounjaro. I'll be on to Wegovy, and it's with Checkup, who I have mentioned. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I don't have codes for Checkup if you're interested. But what I can do, and I will do, and I have done for just a couple of people so far, is if you're interested in trying Checkup, and it doesn't mean that you have to, I can refer you. If you want to get on the Facebook Messenger or email me, drop me a little message saying, yeah, you want to try them. And all I need is your email. And if I pop that on a little link to Checkup, they will email you and they will give you an idea of what they can offer you. And I think you can get something like £50 off, which is a good chunk of the money, isn't it? So, and I get money off. I'm not sure exactly what it is. If it's £50, I'll be really pleased. Any subsequent orders, but it's capped. So I think I can do 2 a month or something like that, which is nice, isn't it? It's nice for both of us. But if you're interested in doing that, I'm more than happy to do it if we can both save some money. Brilliant in my book. And just on that, do you remember when I was speaking about MedExpress got in touch with me? Ooh, when was it now? Beginning of September, end of August, September time, I think it was, when they were talking about the price increases. And obviously they wanted me to push it. which I was happy to do. But I'd sent an email back to them saying, yeah, I'm interested in doing this, but I wanted some sort of reassurances about what can be done, and also about the pricing going forward. I was just asking them generally about what sort of things could be said and done and what their plans were for the future. And then cricket sounds, absolutely nothing back from them. So nothing heard from MedExpress. And it was interesting because a few people had been in touch with me about MedExpress, and they'd had some issues. And I hadn't mentioned this in the email, but whether they, and I'd mentioned this on videos as well, so whether they'd been through and seen. But I'm going to be totally honest. I will always say what I see. If I think something's good, I'll tell you it's good. If I think something's not so good, I'll tell you, because that's what this is all about. This is all my experience, but also sharing your experiences as well. And today's a little bit about that, about what's out there. I'm not necessarily saying, oh, go and do this because I'm doing it or someone else is doing this, but it's just letting you know exactly what's available and something to think about. And I've said this many times before. We are all adults. We are people that can take information and should be using that information and forming our own opinions sensibly about doing it for ourselves. And usually we should take the official guidance seriously and try and follow that. But it's just about letting you know where we can bend it a little bit to suit us without causing ourselves great harm, really. And that's certainly what it's like in my case and in my opinion. Simple as, really. So one interesting thing that I was adding into today, really, and I didn't really have an agenda for today. It was just going to be a catch up of how things were going for me. But I had an email from someone who's followed the channel for a while and been on their own journey. And this is Paul, who doesn't live too far away from me. And it was nice to hear from him because he's the other blues fan. No, there's lots of us, but it doesn't feel like it is. And it was just nice that he's been in touch. And he was telling me a little bit about some other tirzepatide pens that are available, not through, and this isn't him buying this, but this is someone that he's aware of. And I know that it's not brought, or I don't think it's brought in this country necessarily, but it's a 30 milligram pen. There's some pictures that he sent here. Now, this isn't for 30 milligram doses. This is to be able to microdose them down. And it's a huge pen. And this is reputed to cost about £190. And before you get messaging me about where this is from and who do I go to, I don't know. I don't have this information. But I'd be interested to know if there's anyone out there that does. I am aware of some other people on the channel that are using these pens. And again, I don't know where they're from. And these people that have contacted me, it was just like for an information only type thing, a little bit like this with Paul, but I'm sharing it with you because I'm not going to give any details of where it's from because I don't have them. But it's just letting you know that these things are out there, and these are sort of official manufacturers of these medications. Don't know which country they come from, but it just makes me well, it's interesting. And I'd love to know how people are getting on. If there's anyone out there that are using these big pens and microdosing them right down, how are you getting on with them? How do you find they last? Is there any differences that you've noticed? Any concerns? Just something that we can share with the other people on the channel, really. I would be interested to know, because cost effectiveness of these must be so much greater than what people are having to pay now. Although, like I said back to Paul, I've sent you an email back this morning, Paul, because I left it a few days. I did see the couple of emails, but I've just been that busy with going through everything. So I did send that back to you. It's just interesting to know. I'd love to know where they're from. I'm not interested. I mean, I'm coming off Mounjaro after my next pen, and then I'll be trying Wegovy. But that said, and it's like we've said before, I keep saying that today, don't I? Said this before, said that before. Ignore me. I am repetitive and I do waffle. If you're new to the channel, I do go off on tangents sometimes, but I try and always come back to the original point, which let's hope I do. It's a case of knowing that you could go back to Mounjaro, but the sad thing about that would be you'd have to be, to start again, you'd have to be back in the BMI range to be able to do it, wouldn't you? So you imagine dropping the weight down, and then would that be right? And I know people have been refused going back on Mounjaro to maintain when they've had a break. So if you can agree a maintenance plan before you finish, I think that would be the way forward. But this is down to the prescribers, and this is down to the company that you're with, whether they will allow you to continue. So me breaking away from Mounjaro now and going on to Wegovy, like I will be, and that's already set up, I will be getting a Wegovy pen at the end of October. So into November, I'll be on Wegovy. Well, I won't be on it initially because I'll still have a pen. My pen will probably last me up till Christmas. So that'll be me on Wegovy and nothing else, unless I'm assuming I'll have to put the weight back on and show them that I've got a high BMI again to be able to go on it. I wonder if anyone's been able to go back on Mounjaro without putting the weight on and showing proof that they've put weight on again, because that's counterproductive, isn't it? Things will need to change, I think, in the future, and I think one day they will, especially with the new medications that's coming about as well. That's something else that Paul mentioned. I should have asked it. Paul, I did mean to ask you actually in the email, but it was just that quickly fired off this morning. This trial that you're taking part in, I'd be really interested to know exactly the ins and outs and that, if you're able to give it. Now, you might be sort of bound by silence, but just on the quiet, be interested to know. I won't share it, I promise. Anyway, let's get on to right, what we're going to do next. Let's have a look at this body fat analyzer, and I'll show you a little bit about that now. I find it really good. So Ian was really kind enough to send this through to me. This is the body fat analyzer that he sent, and it's really good. It's ever so easy to use. He put some detailed instructions for me. You literally power it on, and then I've pre-planned it, and I need to put my glasses on because I'm blind as a bat without them. I left a pair of glasses at a patient's house the other day, and I've had to go to some old ones. Oh, I'm hopeless, aren't I, at times? So if I put it on number 1, and then press start. So you should be standing up doing this. You hold it out like this, and it analyzes. It does 7 bleeps, and then it tells you what your BMI is, your body fat percentage, and what calories I believe that should be to maintain. So the calories it's telling me, I think this is right, 1,944 calories a day, and I'm still actually about 1,800 or more. So, but it's telling me that my BMI is 24.9, which is right at the top of the healthy range. So I am within the healthy range on the BMI, but my body fat content is 25.8. So it's telling me my body shape is corpulent. So that's still fat, isn't it? So I'm according to this, it's telling me I should be losing more weight, but I'm quite happy where I am. And so, but this is a really good device. I mean, you can pick these up for like fairly cheap money, really. They don't. But this was sent to me by Ian, and it's really good. So thanks, Ian, for that. Really appreciate it. Now, something that I haven't told you before, and something that I was thinking, what can we do just to give something back again? And I've run a couple of competitions so far, which have been really nice to do, actually. And I was thinking, what can we do different as a competition? And well, a couple of years ago, we've got Halloween coming up, and I wrote a bit of a ghost story book, and this is true ghost stories from people that I know. And I wrote this when I was laid up with a bad knee a couple of years ago, and literally put it on Amazon. And it doesn't do much, but I thought, if anyone would like to enter my competition to win one of my books that's got my name on, picture of me on the back. I did this all myself on Amazon. It was just, we all have like bucket lists and things like that. And one of the things that I wanted to do on my sort of unofficial bucket list in the back of my mind was to sort of write a book and just say that I've done it. So, and it's just a little book here that it's Supernatural Tales of the West Midlands, and it's, you know, it's mostly about, obviously, around Birmingham, Solihull, and the West Midlands areas. True ghost stories. It's from like police officers and paramedics that I've worked with. A couple of spooky occasions. Not necessarily an absolute believer in the ghosts, but certainly interested in ghost stories. So I thought, with Halloween coming up the end of the month, and we'll run this for a week. Let's if you're interested in having a ghost story book written by moi, then what can we comment? Yeah, I haven't even thought about this. So if you want to be, like I say, people that have joined the channel, you'll be introduced. And if you don't want the book, just let me know. But I'm happy to send the book. I've got one that I found. If I find any more, I'll pick a few winners out. If enough people, I don't see there being many, but it's just something a little bit big. If you want to actually go and get the book, it's still on Amazon. I don't sell a huge amount and get a couple of pence every time I do, literally. If you want one, I'll put the link up. If you want to go and have a look at it, it's up to you. But I'll give you one away if you want to enter. So if you write in the comments ghost stories or something like that, ghost stories, if you write ghost stories in the comments, at least I can filter them out, and whoever's put that comment, I'll put you in the draw that we normally do in a week's time, and we'll pick a winner out, and you'll get Supernatural Tales from me, Supernatural Tales of the West Midlands, it's called, by Neil Kirby. That's me. So it's all I've got this week. So we'll find something more fitting on the next competition. We'll make it a bit more interesting, shall we? Now, I've left my favourite bit of the week to the near end, and that is your progress pics. And as well as progress pics, we've got progress pics as well, because we've got some repeat viewers. Couldn't think of what I was going to say then. From Sue and from Amy, as to even more progress of how they're getting on. And also we've got Danny here. Now, I haven't, I nearly missed Danny, and Danny's progress is brilliant. So let's get Danny's information up. So this is Danny at the start of his journey. Hi Neil, hope you're well. I've been following your YouTube channel ever since I started thinking about taking Mounjaro, and was nervous but excited to give it a go. I've always had trouble with my weight and tried all sorts of diets, but always gave up after a month or two. Been there, done that, Danny, so you're not on your own. And the weight always came back on, even worse than before. I started on the 21st of March at a massive 19 stone, 12 pounds, which is 278 pounds, and 6 months later, as of the 21st of September, I'm currently at 14 stone exactly, which is 196 pounds. I've lost a total of 5 stone, 12 pounds, which is 82 pound lost. That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant, Danny. I'm lucky, and I've had absolutely no side effects whatsoever. Even now, being on 12.5 milligrams, I've also gone from a 2XL in clothing to an L, and am absolutely chuffed to bits. That's the word I haven't used for a bit, chuffed. And I'm chuffed for you as well, Danny. Congrats on your own achievements. Thank you very much so far. And just wanted to say thank you for all the videos. Thanks, Danny, and thank you for participating as well, and that it's helped him get through his journey. Well, that's what this is all about. This was all about just logging my journey to start with, wasn't it? But when I realised how much it was helping, and it's in my nature, it's in my nature. I mean, I work in healthcare to help people, and I think it's in all of us, isn't it? And if we can do something to give something back, and just help people along the way, because I've said it before, I'll say it again. If I'm helping you, you're helping me as well. But Danny, this is superb stuff. Well done, matey. That's brilliant. Then some repeat offenders. So shall we start with Sue, who you may have remembered from earlier in the year? She sent us some pictures from how well she'd done. And she'd lost 3 stone, 6 pounds over 26 weeks. And she's saying here, I've just started a new 5 milligram pen, which I take 2.5 milligrams every 5 days. So whatever weight I lose now until the pen is finished will be my buffer. I won't be doing maintenance, so I'll be going solo after that. Well, Sue, good luck with that. And if you look, this is how Sue's looking now. Come on, Sue, you can give us a smile on the next pictures, can't you? And this is, I mean, we can see how Sue was here. And then look, that's a different Sue, isn't it? Maybe you look absolutely brilliant. So you must be so chuffed to bits as well. So happy. It's amazing, isn't it? What this Mounjaro and the GLP1s are doing for us. And I know that it's not working for everyone, but if we can just get people into a frame of mind of just being healthier and wanting to do something, then that may help a little bit towards it. But the people that it's working well for, is just the progress is fantastic. Well done, absolutely brilliant. Haven't finished yet. We've still got one more. This is someone that I feel that I've known forever, and it's someone like a lot of people that has been with me from the start. And this is Amy. If you remember, Amy is the one that was building the muscles up, doing the weight training, and it looked absolutely amazing. And she sent me a picture of this, like her arms, the way her arms are now, and it's like she's becoming a bodybuilder. Absolutely inspiring, it really is. But Amy has been absolutely brilliant in sending some pictures again. Now, she works in healthcare as well, and we were talking about she still works nights, which just the thought of that kills me. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. I didn't like nights, but Amy still works nights. She's been doing them for 21 years. You don't look old enough, Amy, to have been doing it for 21 years, to be honest with you. But she was very brave and sent me these pictures, but I couldn't understand why, and she's happy for me to share these. If you look at these, the transformation is staggering. This is Amy. She's put these pictures together herself, before and after, and look at the difference there. This is just, I keep saying inspirational, but it really is. This is what could help you, people out there that are thinking about doing this. And this is one that she did at work as well. So you can see her in a uniform here. This was on a night shift, and you are, Amy, a different person. You're not even Amy anymore. You're like, we cut you in half. You just look fantastic, Amy. I'm absolutely pleased, and thank you for being part of the channel, because you are one of the people that's you help others and you inspire others in your comments as well. You've sent information through for people to purchase things to help, like the needles, the links, and things like that, which I always share on. So special thank you to Amy, who's been brilliant also as well. Right, before we wrap up completely today, I've had a message from Shaun, who created the GLP1 tracker that people have been getting on with. I know there's been a few teething issues. A lot of them are user related, that's been finding out, like verifying your emails if you do log into it. And sometimes the server might pop down for a little while, but it will always come up again. It's certainly not a scam, people. It's something. Shaun was charging £15 just for people to join up, and then any profits after paying for the server fees and things like that that came in, he has donated them, and he has donated to the Lincolnshire and Nottinghamshire Air Ambulance Service, which is a fantastic cause, which is local and close to him where he is. And I think that's a great idea. So for the people that took part in purchasing the tracker app, and I will put the link, I hope I'm doing the right thing here, in the description again for people that might want to look at it again, because I think it's a brilliant app. I don't log on it, but I certainly use the calculator on it. But it's brilliant for logging your weight, for logging your use of the medication, keeping a track on everything. It's got recipes, it's got a little questions and answers bit where you can socialize with other people, I do believe. But I think the calculator bit is brilliant. Right, so I hope it's quite a short and sweet one today. I don't think it's too long. Really impressed with those progress pictures. If you have any questions that I can help with or put you in the right direction, we'll try and do that as well. Keep the progress pictures coming. I love them. If you want to take part in this week's competition, put ghost stories in the comments bit and you'll be in the draw for a free book. If you want to go out and get the book anyway, I'll put a link in the description as well. So that'll be good with Halloween coming up. But I'd love to see the progress pics and anything that you want to talk about, anything that you're concerned with or you find good, you find helpful, and if you want to share it, pass it on, or share it amongst the community. Apart from that, enjoy the rest of your weekend, of which there won't be long left now because this will be out Sunday afternoon probably. Have a great week ahead, and we'll catch up possibly Wednesday, because I haven't done a Wednesday one for a few weeks, but definitely next weekend. Have a great week. See you soon.